Sam, Russ, and I had never even been in a band before. I was a freshman. I had been telling my roommate for the past, 3 months that I really wanted to join a band up in college, and he came back from his friend's nephew's little league soccer game, and they were like, it's like a 9-year-old soccer game, and they had chosen to name their team the Dirty Turkeys. So when he came back to our dorm, he opened the door up and he's like, dude, I don't know if you'll ever fucking join a band or what, but if you ever do, you got to call it the Dirty Turkeys. And it wasn't until 3 years later that we actually started the band. And it hasn't even been a question. It's always been the Dirty Turkeys.
Rob Ruckus,
Nick Collins,
Kate Clover,
Keith Semple,
Isaiah Mitchell,
Billy Harvey,
Tim Howard. Check it out. Almost Famous Magazine.
Hey everyone, welcome back to The Hang. Today we're hanging out with the Dirty Turkey, the Boulder, Colorado band turning heads with self-described acid cow punk. And you know damn well when I saw acid cow punk on Instagram, I got to find out about these guys, and I invited them to come hang with us. I'm your host, Scott Saldinger. If this is your first hang, welcome aboard. If you're here with us regularly, thank you for coming back. Please subscribe and share. You can also take the hang with you anywhere you listen to your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. I'm so excited to learn about acid cow punk. You cannot imagine. It's described as a fearless blend of psychedelia, surf rock, punk, and outlaw country. That's as wild as it is, as it is. Don't ever make as it is a lyric because you'll never get out of your mouth correctly. Addictive. I'm telling you, I've been watching these guys on YouTube. You've got to check them out. Formed by childhood friends and brothers who grew up making music together, they've transformed late night basement jam sessions into a high energy touring act, released their debut album, Cowboy Caravan, and continue building momentum with new music like Under Your Spell. Which you got to check out because it is so creative, that video. I love it. If you love bands that ignore genre boundaries, bring real chemistry to the stage, and leave everything on the stage every single night, do not leave until we say goodbye later. You're going to want to stick around for this one. Sam Baker, Ty, Tullar, Brad, Russ, Hansen, welcome to The Hang, guys. I'm glad to meet you.
What's up, Scott?
Thanks for having us, Scott.
What an intro, man. What an intro.
What an intro. We're not that good.
I think you are, and you know what? It's my goddamn podcast, so that's all that matters, right? What we're here to do is make sure everybody else understands that by the time we're done today. It's super important. We do a really wide-ranging conversation, but I always want to start at the beginning, right? You all got together at a young age, right? Like, did music find you guys? Did music find you? Did you find music? And how'd you bring that, that moment of music sparking something you together to stick around and make music together? Who wants to start?
I mean, music, I think for Sam and I, it definitely found us. We grew up playing sports, and kind of around that period of 2019, 2020, when we were finishing up high school, going to college, we realized that there was no future for us playing sports in college. And so right around that time, there was a banjo, purchased a banjo. Sam purchased a guitar. We did some shows in his garage with some friends. Everyone came up and sang, and then that was kind of the start of things, and ended up looping Brad into it. He was just singing in his shower all the time, and always wanted to be a front man. So that worked. And then we met Ty, who was already a drummer in a couple different bands up in Boulder where we went to school, and voila, that was the band. We started just like that.
So who brought what to the band musically? Because you guys have a lot of different genres that you've made this musical stew, right? Who are some influences from each of you that you kind of brought into your own music style, and then as a group decided that was the direction you were going to go in? Ty?
We were just talking about this yesterday. Yeah, we were just talking about this yesterday, where it's like, it depends on the song. Like I come from a lot, like really rock and roll drumming, and like Dave Grohl and John Bonham and Joe Hawkins are like the reason I started playing drums. And we're working on this song right now for the upcoming album. And it's very Stonesy. It's very like Rolling Stones kind of, that kind of rock and roll vibe. And we were listening to the track yesterday for the first time in a while, and the drums are just like, and it just like doesn't fit the song. And we were just sitting in the car listening to it yesterday. We were like, yeah, we might need to redo the drums on that and make it a little more like Stonesy instead of like Nirvana-y.
Let me ask you this. It's been a while since I've like listened to a rough track in a car. It's been like, you guys still do that? You guys get in the car and you're okay, let's just crank it up and see what it sounds like when we're sitting in the center of it. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, our tour van, it doesn't have the best sound system, but we know if a song sounds good in the van, then we know it's a good song because it surpasses the bad sound system.
So is there going to be a label on the album that says van approved?
That's a great idea.
Yeah, pretty much.
Van sound approved. That's awesome. Let's talk about, Sam. Who were some of your influences in coming into music? Who are some pieces of other styles or other artists that you really love that you bring to the sound of the band?
Well, actually, like back kind of when I started getting into just listening to music when I was in probably 5th grade, it was because Russ had sent me Brad's old SoundCloud playlist. We had all these like crazy kind of psychedelic rap songs like Flatbush Zombies and Biggie. So that was my first intro to listening to music that wasn't just on the radio. And until I was probably 19, I was really into that kind of music for the most part. And then like Tom Petty came around, and now I'm really into kind of the psychedelic scene now, which is like Tame Impala, Dope Lemon, a lot of those bands.
And Brett, how about you?
Yeah, I'm a big country fan, like older country. I like Lee Hazelwood, and I'm a big Roger Miller fan. So a lot of those older country artists that do a really good job of storytelling and getting a little train beat over it. So, I think we all kind of bring different things to the table. And when we're writing music together, it's like for the Under Your Spell song, like all 4 of us kind of brought a separate part in there that could have been 4 separate songs. And it ended up just working out that we could mash them kind of all together in this kind of genre bending way.
So let me, how do you make those decisions together? Because there's no fifth tiebreaker. Do you guys have a voting process? Do you guys duke it out in the studio? I mean, sometimes things can get heated in life when you're going to hold a line on a position, and you're all bringing different things to the music, and you want your piece to be heard. How do you guys deal with that?
Well, Scott, honestly, I think the fact that we're all best friends helps a lot. There's a mutual respect as musicians, as friends, as creatives throughout the 4 of us. We don't tend to argue very much. I think we all have a really similar vision for what we want and know our sound can be like. So there's not really a hierarchy. There hasn't really ever been a time where we've had to duke it out or anything. But I think a lot of that lies in the fact that they're like our relationship, there's a core base, and there's a lot of respect that goes between the 4 of us, and something that Sam hears, maybe I don't hear it that same way, but I think we all try things out until we kind of come to a conclusion.
Yeah, there's always kind of all of us kind of have the same ear. We're like, all right, that's how the song should be, but it takes jamming it out for about 5 hours to really figure it out.
Or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Let me ask, because this is the one thing I gotta understand. The Dirty Turkeys. What's the story behind the name?
The name? Well, back in the college years, this is about 3 years before the Dirty Turkey inception even happened. Sam, Russ, and I had never even been in a band before. I was a freshman. I had been telling my roommate for the past 3 months that I really wanted to join a band up in college. And he came back from his friend's nephew's little league soccer game. and they were like, it's like a 9-year-old soccer game, and they had chosen to name their team the Dirty Turkeys. So when he came back to our dorm, he opened the door up and he's like, dude, I don't know if you'll ever fucking join a band or what, but if you ever do, you got to call it the Dirty Turkeys. And it wasn't until 3 years later that we actually started the band, and it hasn't even been a question. It's just always been the Dirty Turkeys.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, so some 9-year-old soccer team pretty much named us in like 2019.
Oh, so Sam, you were saying something?
Yeah, at first I was like, oh wow, we're just like this goofy name. I don't have like a serious name and be all. But then we started realizing it was a lot more ourselves and a lot more fun to just have that kind of goofy name, and it just, people just, instead of calling us like, oh, that's the blah blah blah, they just call us turkeys. So it's kind of,
Yeah, you just walk around. People gobble at us on the streets. We got some good turkey facts. We've kind of been we represent the turkeys. You know, we really, it's our favorite bird, and you know there needs to be a little bit more out there about that very very special bird. So we're happy to be a liaison for that.
Well, I mean, so is there like an annual Thanksgiving gig you guys do in honor of the turkey?
you get
Turkey Fest.
There's an annual football game that's played every year with us at Thanksgiving.
We tend to just drink a lot of beer on Thanksgiving and not worry about the music too much.
No. I mean, I figured maybe, you know, you guys were on to like, hey, okay, if we name the band the Dirty Turkeys, and then we want to get ourselves like a bourbon brand and get into the liquor business, you would definitely have
some options.
That would be such a slippery slope for us to have like cases and cases of bourbon in our garage.
Yeah.
Why so?
I mean, we have like
we drink Jack Daniels.
We tend to drink a lot of it.
Yeah. We get beer from this company called Howdy, and we get tequila from this company called Suerte, and we always like stock up before we go on tour, and we're like, yeah, sick. We got a whole bin full of booze. Like we're gonna be set for the whole tour, and it's usually gone after like the first 4 days.
And we gotta
Oh man.
Well, so Dirty Turkey bourbon would be scary.
Yeah. But you know what? In today's music world, you've got to have some sort of other merch, right? You got to have something to sell besides just the music. So now, how about like touring? What is the Dirty Turkey experience at a live show? What for people who have not seen you perform before? What is that experience like for them?
Raw power. There's a lot of energy. There's a lot of sweatiness. There's a lot of jumping up and down, moshing, just infinite jams, psychedelia. Carnage.
Yeah, it's not really a show you'd go to and sit down on a chair and you know have a beer. It's you gotta surrender to the music and completely let go and be in the very front if you can, and interact with the crowd, socialize, and just dance like a madman.
It's really a
Surrender
performance.
And let go. Surrender and let go. That could be a lyric. That could be a walk-on song.
sounds like a YouTube song.
Surrender, let go.
Yeah, I think all of our songs are Ty and I try and hold down a dance beat for the entirety of it, and it's kind of free form. Like you can dance however you want. We have a couple songs that are kind of Latin influenced, and a couple that are more funk influenced as well. So you can shake your bum however you'd like to at a Dirty Turkey show.
And our favorite thing, we were talking about it last night. Our favorite thing is when we get just like freaks at our shows that just like that just are super weird dancers. And we were talking last night, we were like, we would rather play a show in front of 2 just like maniacs instead of like 1,000 just regular people that are just like standing there not really dancing.
It sounds like you guys like a little bit of like an Andy Frasco audience. If you've been seeing him
Yeah.
play.
Yeah.
We need you to take some tequila shots with us. We're gonna need to. We'll probably pull you on stage at some point. Might stick my toe in your mouth. Who knows? We'll see.
So a lot of
Last
audience
night-
participation.
Last night
Yeah.
we played in Fort Collins last night, and it was so hot in the venue, and we didn't have any drinks on stage. And Brad just walked up to a girl in the crowd and like took her beer and like chugged it, like gave the empty glass back to her.
Nice. Nice. I like it. I mean, it's that in-person musical experience. I think that especially, coming out of what we went through for a couple of years with the pandemic, people are really yearning for that live music experience, to get out and be able to just be amongst the music. There was too much listening
Totally.
in isolation,
And it's interesting, Scott, is this past year, as we've been gaining more and more of an audience, we've been noticing that people are less and less on their phones during the show as well. Like when we started out, there was a lot of people filming, recording, like it was more into that scene. But this past year, a lot of our shows, people are just so immersed in the show and have no desire to take their phone out, no desire to record videos. And we've just been like loving that. We've been noticing that recently. It's just cool to see people present, engaged, and just there to fuck around and let loose.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I was just over last weekend. I saw this band Integra Pink. They're a Southern California band, and they are like a cumbia punk Tejano band, and saw them, and I noticed the same thing. Like people were just so into them that the other periphery stuff didn't matter as much as it kind of did for a while there, when people all they would do was have their phone out and be either recording a show or doing something else. So I think you definitely it's definitely something noticeable, and I think that's great too, because getting a chance to see an artist is not only this wonderful visceral experience, but it's a great way to support a band. Like buying tickets is people don't realize that you buy the music, and we tell people all the time, and there'll be links below to buy your music. You got to support artists, but to buy a ticket and then put yourself into a venue for a couple of hours and just disconnect as much as you can and connect with that artist is worth every single dollar you've invested in that band. And seeing it that way, because I think a lot of people are, we've got the this whole blue dot thing going on, and people being priced out of that experience in a lot of ways. That when you can find a band that you like, when they're out on the road, support them, be in that experience, because then you can tell your friends about the great time you had.
And that's where a lot of, I think, our fan base comes from is word of mouth. Like we haven't gone like viral on social media or anything like that, but when we go to these shows, a lot of these people are coming back and they're like, I brought my friends this time, and like we saw you last year. And I think that's super powerful as well, and very overlooked. I think people chase virality, and that's great for the short term. And maybe you might sell tickets, in that city or whatever. But I think long-term fans, it's really important to gain that word of mouth. That's gonna last longer than anything.
Yeah, and build the relationship. Right? I think more than ever, building that relationship and being accessible to people who invest in you is so important. It really is.
Yeah, and I think I speak for all of us. Like we're very grateful. Like we have the best fan base in the world, and like we're very grateful to have grown in the way that we did, and not have a song blow up or like an Instagram video blow up, and then overnight, like we have all these fans. Like it's been a very authentic and like genuine growth process, and I think because of that, we have really like genuine fans that literally they feel like family to us, because they've just like grown with us over the years.
Our first couple of tours we played, we booked ourselves, and it was pretty much only bars, and we would play for 3 hours straight, and like that's, we kind of just thought that was the norm, and that I think helped us really find our sound, and like Ty find our sound, find our performance, connect with each other, and like Ty was saying, find those fans who've, were there watching us for 3 hours straight in some podunk bar in, Nevada or something.
Well, let me ask you this: have you, it's been what, about 5-6 years now? You guys have been together. Have you set some goals for yourselves as a group, and then reached them and had a moment where it just kind of, you're like, look around and go, wait a minute, we hit our goal. We did what we wanted to set out to do, whether it be in producing a certain song or maybe it was a show. Have you had one of those aha moments where, like, damn it, this thing has really come together the way that we'd hoped it would?
Yeah, playing in New York City was definitely a big moment for all of us where we drove all the way out there, trekked all the way, played some shows on the way, and got there. And just being in our own van with our own gear and everything and seeing that city was crazy. And just navigating through the streets, the van, playing the show, that was awesome. And then also, I would say our most recent song, Under Your Spell, we were all very proud of it. It feels like the most genuine Turkey song that we've ever made. Of all of our kind of ideas from each band member has conjoined into this song in a very special way, and it feels like a breakthrough song for us.
Well, let's talk about Under Your Spell in the context of this. I really like it. The music video that you guys made, it was brilliant. I really enjoyed it. For any of you watching, I'll throw the link to that down below too. You got to check this out. If you enjoy, if you were a child and enjoyed a good puppet show, and something a little further out there, this is the video for you. Given that you're growing this audience of yours organically, and Under Your Spell being your newest song, if someone has not heard your music before, you have a catalog of songs. You've got a whole bunch of videos on YouTube. You've got your album. You've put singles out. Music, I look at it like, a meal. Which couple of songs, and each of you, let's see what each of you picks, would be like your appetizer song. If you met someone off the street and said, hey, I'm in this band, start with this song, you got to check this out, which song would it be and why? So Sam, why don't you go first?
Ooh, I would choose our song Cowboy Caravan, because that was kind of this manifestation of like a circus that Russ and I, like a while back, were like in the desert. We like looked up on some rocks. We're like, dude, like, what if we had crazy people dancing while a show was going on in the middle of the desert? And then fast forward 2 years later, we come out with an album and there's people in the desert on fire dancing to our song. And we kind of like I think Russ and Brad wrote the lyrics to it, and it just was like a perfect representation of where we were gonna go. And we wrote it like a year before it even happened, which is just the strangest thing in the world.
Nice. Russ, how about you?
That's a good one. That I have to agree with that one. That song, it started as a poem, and then it kind of just evolved into, the poem became the lyrics, and then the music became kind of, like you said, a circus-esque, almost like Latin sounding beat with like some surfy aspects to it. And I just, like, I've always felt like that's just an amazing encapsulation of our band. There's an energy switch up at the end that kind of goes into like more of a punk tempo, and yeah, couldn't agree more with Sam.
All right, Ty, which one would you say people should start with?
I would say, as an appetizer, might be a hot take, but I would say Oodalali from the first album. It's I think as an appetizer, the job of an appetizer is to be easily digestible and to get the kind of clear the palate and get you on like a level wavelength to be able to be prepared for the rest of the meal. And I think that song is very digestible, and I think that song is very like, it's very catchy, and it's just like, it's kind of like happy and jolly. And so my appetizer would be Oodalali.
Salesman, this guy.
Nice. And Brad, all right, you're last. Which one would your appetizer be?
Like Tyler was saying, if we're talking appetizers, if we're talking clearing the palate, I'm going with sweater. I think sweater is a little jammy, a little psyche. I think it does a good job of showcasing a little bit of funness. Don't take yourself too seriously. You can play it in the beach, you can play it in the car, you can play it in the shower. You can move your hips, you can shake your lips to it. I think it's a good little before the meal, before you get to the main course, before you get to the dessert. Put on a sweater.
Well, okay. So I have a question. How many psychedelics did you give to the fish that were in that? I mean, were any fish harmed during the production of that?
We cannot say.
What was the relationship of the aquatic life to the song?
Well, we were just freaking belly flopping in some warm water somewhere.
Felt right.
Yeah. And
Russ saw a jellyfish in the water and started filming it, and it was kind of hitting the same bass tempo that Sam was hitting with the bass, and we were out there and we're like, let's film a music video for Sweater out here. It feels like a good spot to do it. All the plants and the animals and everything kind of have this vibration going to it as well.
The best part is throughout the entire music video, all of Sam's dance moves are they're all mimicking fish.
Yeah.
So that's a hidden,
hanging out with that jellyfish.
For a hidden theme in the video.
As long as you can get attacked by the jellyfish or was a stingray in there, you're okay. That's what matters. Safety first, guys. Safety first. You guys you have to be able to do this for a long time. We live in a world where a lot of people come through our lives and make an impact on us in one way or another. And some people are with us for a short time and make a long-lasting impact, and some people are with us for a long time, right? For each of you, is there someone who's come through your life that has had a monumental impact on supporting your musical journey in one way or another? Ty, how about you?
Oh, wow. I mean, my family, they came to one of our first shows we played at our hometown venue, the Fox, and my family still talks about it today, how my sister was just screaming like, "That's my brother!" And then they made t-shirts that says like, "That's my brother" on it. Now every time they come to a turkey show, they always wear their like "That's my brother" t-shirts. From the beginning, my family's always been number one supporters of all of this, which has been great.
That's great. Sam, how about you?
Yeah, I'd love to shout out also my family, but also our friends who come to our shows, especially in the beginning when we were playing those 3-hour sets. My buddy Quinn, Sam Jaffe, Alexa Hamad, like all these people came to our shows and really, really enjoyed the environment of those first tours and just followed us everywhere. That was really something that kept our heads straight and being like, okay, we're not doing this for nothing, our friends are having incredible experiences with us,
That's great. Russ, how about you?
I would actually like to shout out my brother here, Bradley, for when I started getting into making music. Until this day, he's always been the biggest fan of this art I've created and the songs I've created, and he's helped really just bring those to life, and making them turkey songs, like all these songs that just started out as ideas, all these riffs. Yeah, big thanks to Bradley, my brother. Love you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Love you, dude.
Oh,
It's funny you say that. I was actually going to say you as well. I think
Wow.
being
I'm gonna
brothers,
cry, man. I'm gonna cry.
being brothers. You know, Russ and I are in the same house. When we go off tour, Russ and I are still together all the time. So I wouldn't be in this position at all if it wasn't for my brother. I was about to go sell record players, and my brother started playing guitar and was like, "Hey, we need someone to sing." So I definitely wouldn't be here at all if it wasn't for him. And he's always creatively pushing me with music and with art consistently, nonstop. And he's just like a waterfall of new ideas, new riffs that I just feel blessed to be in the presence of. So I love you, brother.
Thank you, man.
I think that's great. I think that's fabulous. What does, I mean, it's hard to believe, we're almost halfway through the middle part of the year, and turning into the end of 26 is going to be here sooner than we can imagine. And I live in Dallas, Texas, so as soon as we can get out of the season of oven would be better.
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to rush anything, but it's a little warm. So what does the remainder of the year have in store for you guys? You mentioned work on a new album. What's the rest of the year look like?
Well, we're playing a Fox Theater show in August, and going on a little tour in September of California. Going to be bouncing all around the coast. Playing a festival at Electric Honey, which is a music festival out in the deserts of Moab. And then big news, this is the first time that we've ever told anyone this, but we're planning on moving to San Francisco in October.
Cool.
So we got a little move going on there, and the Soul Sugar, our upcoming album, will be released at the end of this year as well. So a lot of fun stuff coming up for the turkeys. We're trotting along. It's all gas right now, Scott. It's all gas. Pedal to the metal.
All gas, regardless of the price of a gallon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
it's a little tough there for a bit.
In order to afford those gallons, you got to support these guys. Hey, look, there's a lot of great music in San Francisco. When you get out there, you got to look up Black Gold Sun. They are incredible. It's
Black Gold Sun.
Black Gold Sun. Three-piece female punk band. They are amazing. They are absolutely amazing.
Sick.
We need that. Yeah, we're really excited to explore a new scene. We've been in the Denver, Colorado scene for a while now. We love it out here, but the West is calling us. The West is calling us. We need to take charge. Head to the ocean. See what awaits.
You got to go
spend all our money. Yeah.
Right. Well, hopefully maybe you guys will get around to Texas at some point. Would love to see you here in the Dallas area if I can't get out of town to come see you guys perform. I mean, just everybody, I can't say enough. I saw them on Instagram and I'm like, I got to meet these guys. I got to understand how this came together. And I definitely want to see one of those 3-hour shows for sure. Because you probably get more bang for your buck in performance now than other people are putting on 3-hour shows who are also using oxygen. So, totally worth getting out to see them. Hopefully I'll get a chance to as well. You mentioned, not going viral, yet. It'll happen. Yeah. How do you feel about, you had a love of music and you started doing this for the music, but now you have to be these content creators, right? Do you find it challenging? Do you find it something you enjoy, or is it absolute drudgery? What's your sentiment?
Yeah, I mean, initially when we first started the band, we definitely rejected all of it, and we were like, this is not what it's about. It's about the music. It's about the live experience, the rawness of live music. But we've come around to it, and we realized the benefit of using it as a tool and almost I mean, it's kind of essential these days. And so, I mean, yeah, and Sam and I both have media production backgrounds and video editing backgrounds. So, we just kind of put our own spin on it and made it fun. It's still definitely a doozy at times to keep up with, but we like to have fun with it.
Yeah, and
So,
also,
I'm sorry, Sam.
also like a lot of this stuff is pretty authentic. I mean, we've tried to do trends before, and it's just not really our thing.
Doesn't work.
But Brad is also an illustrator, so like all the posters he makes are all hand drawn. So we stick very much so to the human aspects of art as much as we can, and posting art a lot on our Instagram is definitely different from a lot of bands.
There's
let's
a
talk.
there's a sentiment of sorry, Scott. Uh,
Brad.
like just to touch on what the guys are saying a bit. In the beginning, there was that rejection, and then I think we all realized that yes, this is a band, and the point is to make music, but it's also a brand, and people have to buy into your brand. And back in the day, there was marketing teams surrounding our favorite artists and helping them put out music, and now it's our job to do that. So we really sat down and we're like, all right, what is the brand of the Dirty Turkeys? How do we want to be perceived? And once we started looking at it in that aspect, it became much more fun and easier to do. Where like Sam was saying, we don't have to do a trend just because it's blowing up. Like we can just film ourselves on tour, and Russ can make a video of it, and people resonate with it because they're not on tour, and that's like something interesting. I think over trial and error, over the past couple of years, we've began to honestly kind of enjoy it more than it be as much of a burden.
Yeah, it's definitely it's become a hamster wheel that musicians get stuck on, right?
Yeah.
So better that it's enjoyable and it's great. Look, as someone who got a degree in filmmaking, guys, Sam and Russ, I totally can understand those are great skills to have. Plus, it's not bad for Plan B if something else happens.
Surely, yeah.
But you talked about keeping the human in the art, and that really leads me to want to dive into something, which is what's your sentiment on embracing the technology these days that has come around, the use of whether it is technology that can change and enhance your sound or AI. What are your feelings about bringing that mechanical piece into the human side of your art?
I think we talk about it all the time, where I think over the next decade we're gonna see more change in the world in the next decade than we have over the last 100 years. And especially from a technological standpoint. And I think there's a big surge of people are going crazy over these AI videos and all this kind of artificial stuff. And I think there will be a big boom of artificial art, and it'll seep its way into the art world for, I would say, 3 years, where it's still shocking and it's still new, but I think eventually people are going to get sick of artificially produced art, and they're going to crave human produced art. And I think that's really going to be an avenue where we're going to be able to capitalize really well on when people are all of a sudden wow, we miss seeing 4 dudes on a stage playing their instruments,
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I think one of the things that really pulled me into your music is the mix of sound, the cultural mix of the genres, and it's not vanilla. And it's so hard with so much content and so much music created these days, because for what it's worth, you can sit around with a computer and make whatever you want. but you guys are really Neapolitan, and I think that is the ultimate goal, right? How do you keep yourself separated from the vanilla all the time? And I think that's
I also think that's the reason that we haven't like blown up yet, is because it isn't vanilla, and it's not easily digestible for everyone. But I think that's why we admire the Jesus Christ Taxi Driver guys as well, because they're true to their craft as well, and they're not making music to appease the masses, and neither are we. And yeah, right now, we're not the biggest band in the world because of that, but I think over time, staying true to that authentic sound and your vision will pay off tenfold.
And I think, Peter Drucker, the godfather of modern business, said consistency is the key to all economic success. I like to take it one step further. Consistency is the key to all success. Stick with your guns. Do what you feel is right. Do it consistently, and you'll attract the right people to it. The people who should be
beautifully
there,
said.
who'll go along for it.
Yeah. I like to think about. I feel like there's been a shift in with musicians and artists in general. Of in the past, everyone wanted to be great. They wanted to have a legacy. They wanted to be great. And now it's people just want to be famous. People just want to have quick fame. But that's something I always like to return to is like what will be remembered for many years to come. Like it doesn't matter that we're not blowing up right now or anything like that of that sort. But if I think that, like you were saying, if we stick to what we're doing and be organic to ourselves, authentic to ourselves, that's the most important thing of being remembered.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are going to get there. I have no doubt. Especially because everybody who sees this is going to go out and see you. That's number one. Number two, they're going to buy your music. Let's talk about this though. I love putting good things out into the world. I think a lot of times we keep things inside of our head too long, and we don't share enough to get the things that we really want to do and accomplish out there. And sometimes we hold it a little too close to the vest. So I'm always interested in the answer to this question. And I'm going to start with Sam, and I'll go down the line. But if there was an artist that you had a chance to get in a studio with for a day, each of you, and be creative with, you could learn from them, you could write a lyric with them, jam with them, whatever that experience is, who would that artist be, and why is it on the top of your list? Sam, you go first.
I would choose Angus Stone and the Dope Lemon guys, and girls, Julia Stone as well, because it's actually kind of tangible. They have a studio, and I really, really enjoy how his engineers record drums and how they approach music. I think it's kind of some of the greatest listened music that's come out in a very long time. You can put on his album from front to back and just chill.
I'm gonna have to check them out. I miss records that were made for front to back listening, because everything has become, we live in this single world. So I'm gonna make a note and listen to some of that. Ty, who would it be for you?
Packed question. I have so many names going through my head right now, but I would definitely say my number one would be Stu McKenzie from King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
That's a good one.
He's just like, he produces Babe Rainbow's music, and they run P Doom Records, and that circle of people just produces such unheard of music and art, and they do it all themselves, and it's unbelievably. If you haven't seen the video of them recording, it was like the Dripping Tap, I think, one of their songs. There's like this video on YouTube of them recording it, and they had this thing where they like recorded Stu's grandma saying something, and it like made it in the final mix of the song, and like they just have a really good time in the studio, and all ideas fly, and it's like nothing is too crazy to like try, and that's where I really want to get, is like any idea is worth a try, you know? And I feel like that's kind of the world that they live in, which I admire.
Well, if you don't try, you don't get any result. So you can either play it safe or you can just put it out there and see where it lands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Brad, how about you? Who would yours be?
That's a tough one. I'd honestly have to go based out of LA. His name's Cisco Adler. He's a producer based out of LA. He's got some songs with Swayze, and I think that his recording style would fit very well with the Turkeys, and I like the kind of energy and stuff that he puts out. He's done stuff with like Wiz Khalifa and Mike Posner and stuff. And I think it would give the Turkeys a kind of a unique kind of sound to kind of try to go a direction like that.
Nice. And Russ, how about you?
I feel like these are all very tangible answers. So I would probably say there's this guy named Jonathan Rado who's part of this duo called Foxygen, and he produced all of their records, and their records have always inspired me to experiment and just go crazy. And yeah, I would love to work with him. I think our band could make some really cool stuff with that guy, and he's around. He's still records with bands, so that'd be awesome. Putting that out into the air.
Or the yellow. What's the Yellows Days guy? What's the Yellow Days guy's
George.
name?
George.
Yeah.
That'd be cool,
the singer and producer for Yellow Days. He would definitely be up there as well. And the Stingrays.
There you go. You got a bonus. Now the audience knows what to do. If you know any of these people, if you went to school with them, if you went to school with their kids, if you walk their dog, if you pick up their dry cleaning, if you cut their lawn, whatever, however you're connected to them, we got to make some magic happen for the Dirty Turkey. So you have been charged and warned to go out and make this stuff happen. We are big believers in supporting artists. So as I said earlier, you're going to find the links below. You guys got one or two albums out, I forget currently. There's an album and an EP.
Yeah, we got one full album and one EP out right now.
And a couple singles in there too. Yeah.
Go out and purchase their music. And if you are fortunate enough, do you see that the Turkeys are coming to town, buy tickets. I can't even begin to imagine what kind of batshit crazy merch these guys have, because they talked about showing up and shaking your tail feathers. And I hope you guys are selling some tail feathers, maybe with the band logo on them. I don't know, but support them. It's going to cost some money for them to move to San Francisco. It costs money to tour. It costs money to make music. All of those things need your support. So the links are going to be below. As we kind of slide into home base here and wind things down, obviously you're making music because you're passionate about music and you love music. And I'm always fascinated with who people listen to when they're not making their own music, whether it's someone that influences them or it's someone that just brings a calmness and peace to their world. All right. I'm going to go down the line again, and I'm going to start with Russ this time. So I'm going to put him on the spot. Tell me about a band that you're like, if we're just sitting around having a beer, you're like, Scott, you got to check these people out. This is a great artist, is a great band. I love them. Here's why. You got to put your ears to them. And I can tell already, look, I know Russ is going to pick Tay-Tay because he totally comes off and he's really in recovery over this whole wedding thing. But Russ, who's somebody you're listening to other than Taylor Swift, because she gets enough publicity and we've only mentioned her 3 times now, that you really dig when you're out? Maybe you go to the gym, maybe you go for a walk, maybe you meditate, whatever. Who's somebody you're listening to that you think I should put my ears on?
I would probably put you on Ravi Shankar if you haven't already been exposed to.
Oh yeah,
that fine lad. Yeah, that music. The sitar especially has always just brought me back to earth and reminded me who I am. So I always return to that music.
I like that. Yes, one of the greats. Brad, how about you?
Harry Nielsen. Big fan of Harry Nielsen. Big fan of his short film The Point. His music brings me utter peace, and I love his kind of whimsicalness mixed with his 4-octane voice and orchestra and his songwriting style. I'm a big fan of big fan. I've been listening to him about every day for the last couple months. So Harry Nielsen's top for me.
You know what? If he had ever been changed his name to something else, I only think the only other name he could have had was Joy.
Yeah,
that's what I
seriously.
Music, a lot.
Yeah, and the Beatles loved him. People called him the fifth Beatle. Like he inspired a lot of the Beatles songs. I feel like he's very underrated in at least our generation. But yeah, big fan.
I love that. Ty, how about you?
I mean, I might be shockingly, but the majority of the music that I listen to on my downtime is there's no drums in it. Shockingly, but love folk and I love like bluegrass. And we just played with, actually have their vinyl, but this band, The Last Wild Buffalo, I got a vinyl from them this last weekend. But they, like, if you want to talk about front to back no skip albums, their first record, and I haven't been home with my record player yet, so I haven't been able to listen to this one yet, but their first album is one of the most incredible albums I've ever heard in my life. And like they're just this little folk band from like southern Utah, and it's really cool because now we're friends with them, and like, you know, like we just played with them last weekend. But genuinely not even like trying to shout out my friends, like they are one of my favorite bands I've ever heard in my life.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to check them out. How about Sam? Sam, how about you?
There's a band currently in New York City called Persona 749, and they have some of the craziest rock and roll music. I don't even know what to call it, but they have some of the craziest music I've heard, and they are all about our age, which is just very impressive. And yeah, shout out to that band. Some of their music is just mind-blowing.
I'll check them out. What timing? Somebody's at the door. Is it an Amazon package? Is it a delivery? Guys, this has been fantastic. I'm going to tell you right now, when the new album comes out, we're going to do this again.
Let's do it.
Sure.
Please,
I am confident I'm going to lay my ears on it and have a shit ton of questions about what you guys are putting together. I think this has been wonderful. I appreciate that you received my crazy Instagram message for an invite and you took it, and we got a chance to
always
get together. If you're ever in the Dallas area, I'm definitely at a show, and if I'm on the road somewhere, I will look to see if you guys are in town. As should everyone else. The links will be below to go ahead and buy their music. So Sam, Ty, Brad, and Russ, thank you so much for spending time with me today.
Scott, thank you, man.
Thank you.
This has been
I speak for all the turkeys when I say this is probably one of the best. You were probably one of the best interviewers that we've ever had.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, easily. Great questions, man. Really appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I
Enjoy Mexico.
I aim to be easy. Thank you. I plan on it. Trust me. I'm going to be disconnecting, but you know, everybody, just make sure, you know, this is insane times we live in, and it's so important. Give yourself a little love, grace, and kindness every day. Helps you feel better, but then give it to other people, because that's going to help make you feel better too. So go out there, live your best life, do the things you want to do, and give yourself all the grace to do it. So guys, thanks so much again. And everybody, will see you in the next episode.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.